No Jirachi. Jirachi is a 1 prize, but we don't even have that. The reason we don't have a Jirachi is because we are playing greens, so we can't be having Jirachi. So we actually get to summon 5. Look at that. Wow. So it's always best to have all in your deck, so they get to summon everything. So we're gonna attach triple XL. I almost attached a twin just because I couldn't attach to my Blip Bug. So evolve first, then attach. So that way we get to summon 5. 1, 2. We have 4 Kingdras in this deck. 2 is in our prize card. That was unlucky. Usually I would have at least 3 in the deck. All we need is a few more powerful Squalls. They're gonna knock out either our Blastoise or our Kingdra, so we have to watch out for that. They can't boss order anymore, so they're gonna have to gamble on a coin flip if they play a catcher. They don't have Ninetales, so there we go, max beating. It's weak towards Leaf type. So we're gonna accumulate on 1 Kingdra, as I said, and then play that Kingdra. So they have no choice but to knock out 1 of our Kingdra. So it's better to play 1 of the Kingdra now, because if you don't, they're gonna boss auto knock it out and you can't use your Aqua Burst anymore. So Aqua Burst all the way from here on out. They're probably gonna draw a supporter card. Hopefully not, but they might, you know. I think we should retreat, because they don't have leaf types. We don't have to worry about leaf types anymore. Let's use our second Blastoise, just to make it more difficult for them to knock us out. Might not matter anyways, because they can do a crazy amount of damage with their Salazzle. And Hydro Tackle for the kill. Oh, this is actually a difficult game. Thank God they have an Eldegoss, because otherwise we would be very much behind, because they're playing all 1 prizes. Hello everybody, welcome back to Bearware the Terrible. Today we have a new deck in the standard format for you called the Massive Drench. So in Massive Drench, we have our Kingdra card from Battle Styles with the Deep Sea King ability, allowing you to attach any amount of water energy cards from your Pokemon that got knocked out on your opponent's last turn to your Kingdra. So it's essentially a Wishful Baton tool card, except it's in ability format, and you get to attach any amount of water energy cards. That means you get to save all water energy cards attached to your other Pokemon to your Kingdra. If you have a lot of Kingdras in play, then it's impossible for them to target all of them. If they knock out 1 Kingdra, you have another one on your bench to save those other cards, to save other energy cards. Sorry, to save all energy cards attached to your other Pokemon. So any other Pokemon that got knocked out by your opponent, those energy cards is gonna be transferred back to your Kingdra. So it's essentially a energy recycling on the battlefield. So this is how strong the Deep Sea King ability is. But the bad thing about this card is that, and it also has a matching attack. Aqua Burst does a lot of damage. It does 40x damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So it's essentially the same thing as the Keldeo V's attack. Keldeo V does the same thing, but it is 3 energy cost and it has a base damage of 50. So Kingdra has a powerful attack and it matches really well with its ability. So this is a very strong card. But as I said, the bad thing about this card is that it's a stage 2 Pokemon. So it's a very slow card to be turning up in the game. You know, it's very difficult to find your rare candies to evolve it, and to even evolve it stage by stage with a Pokemon breeder, with a lot of incenses and a lot of ways of calling out those Pokemon communications. So it's really difficult to evolve a stage 2 Pokemon. That is why we are using our Orbital card to get out both stage 2 Pokemons, as many Kingdras as possible, and 2 Blastoise on our bench, so that, you know, we get to look, because Blastoise is very important. Blastoise has a super strong ability, allowing us to attach any amount of water energy cards we find on our top 6 cards of our deck to our Pokemon in any way we like. We get to attach to our Orbital as well. We get to attach to our Kingdra. We get to attach to Blastoise with the powerful Squall ability. So it's only the top 6 cards. That is why we need 2 Blastoise on our bench. If we have an Orbital, it's better to attach. If we have a triple acceleration energy, then we get to summon 2 Blastoise and a Kingdra. If we only have a twin energy, then it's better to summon 1 Blastoise and 1 Kingdra, because you know, then we get to use Blastoise ability on the next turn to charge up our Orbital even more, so that we get to summon even more Pokemons, you know. But if it's already charged with a twin, then obviously all we need is another water energy, because that's gonna be 2 plus 3, which is a total of 5 on our bench. So Orbital doesn't need to do much. All it needs to do is evolve and get the special energy out. So how do we evolve our Orbital? The first Orbital is all we need. We need to evolve it very fast by our second turn. If we can't do it by our second turn, then our third turn. But this deck is super optimized for you to be able to evolve by your second turn, because obviously you can't evolve in the first turn. So by your second turn, you can evolve your Orbital, and then you can summon as much as 4 or 3, at least 3 onto your bench. Well, at least 2 actually, because by your second turn you can attach 2 water energies, but it won't be that unlikely for you to draw out special energy cards, because we have 7 special energy cards in this deck, 4 triple acceleration and 3 twin energies. Obviously you can't use those special energies for your Blastoise or your Kingdra, because those cards require water type energies. So special energies for this deck is essentially useless for our stage 2 Pokemons. It is only tailored for our Orbital. It is specialized only for Orbital, but we are leaving those space. We are giving this contrasted energy cards, because we are having these 2 contrasts in energy cards, because this deck relies on Orbital, because Orbital requires a lot to be able to do its Evomancy on the second turn. You need to evolve it, you need special energy cards, otherwise you can't do much with your Evomancy. So that's why we have 7 special energy in this deck. We have 4 Green Exploration and 4 Skylas. That is how we are gonna summon our Evolution Incense and our Pokecoms or Rare Candy. Sorry, Incense or Pokecom and Rare Candy, because you need those 2 cards to be able to max evolve, stage 2 evolve your Orbital on the second turn. So if you have a greens, you can summon a Pokemon Communication or a Evolution Intent and a Rare Candy to be able to evolve your Orbital. Obviously Pokemon Communication, we need 3 of it in this deck, because we need to save those stage 2 Pokemons that turn up in our hand. Sometimes we have too many Blastoise or Kingdra in our hand. That means we can't use our Evomancy. Sorry, we can't use Evomancy to summon them from our deck and put them into our bench, because they are inside our hand. So we need Pokemon Communication to put them back into our deck, so that we get to draw them into our bench with our Evomancy attack. So that is the tricky part about this deck, is that if too many turns up in your hand, and if you don't have Pokemon Communication, then you're gonna have to use your Skyla or your Green's Exploration to summon enough Pokemon Communication for you to do enough boost for you to summon enough Pokemons with your Evomancy. Because we need at least 3 Kingdras and 2 Blastoise to have a good game, Well, at least 2 of each, 2 Blastoise and 2 Kingdra to have a good game. But it's better to have 3 Kingdras and 2 Blastoise, and then expect 1 Orbital to get knocked out. That way, that's a total of 6 Pokemons and a total of 6 prize cards. So all we need is first Evomancy, and then Blastoise afterwards, and then Kingdra, Blastoise. So I'll explain that now. So the first card that you're gonna put forth as your active after using your Evomancy is your Blastoise card. Why? Because if Blastoise gets knocked out, all the 3 energy cards, we are expecting 3 energy cards to be we are expecting to attach 3 energy cards by our next turn after summoning our Blastoise, because we essentially have 2 Blastoise on our bench. It's very likely for us to be able to search our deck for 3 energy cards, or even 2, because we may have already 1 water energy in our hand. We have a lot of water energies in this deck. We have 16 basic water energy cards in this deck, because we are relying on powerful Squall to charge up our Pokemon. So by our third turn, after using our Evomancy, we would essentially be retreating our Orbital, or if it gets knocked out, we'll be sending our Blastoise as the new active Pokemon and do its Hydro Tackle attack, and then wait for it to get knocked out. If they boss or knock out our Kingdra, then we're gonna have to prepare the next Kingdra with another Evomancy, because it's not good to only have 1 Kingdra on your bench. It's better to have at least 2 and then an active Pokemon with water energy attached to it so that you get to use your Kingdra on the next turn. But if they boss order knock it out, then at least you have 1 or 2 Kingdras left. Then by that time, it's better to use your Kingdra already. You know, sometimes you may need to use Evomancy again just to prepare for another boss order card. But best practice for this deck is to attack with your Blastoise first with Hydro Tackle, because if they knock it out, you can save those energy cards and you essentially are able to maintain your energy card, the energy card count on your battlefield. So how many energy cards there is in your battlefield stays the same, and you also get to increase it by attaching from your hand every turn 1 at a time, and also with powerful Squall. That is why we should only attack. That is why the best practice for this deck is to attack with your first attack is with Blastoise, and then after that use Kingdra all the way until the end of the game. Why? Because we're gonna need our second Blastoise to charge up our Kingdra even more, to charge up our next Kingdra and other Kingdras from then on. So that Blastoise is gonna be our charger Pokemon at our bench, and we're not gonna be charging the Blastoise at all. We're gonna be charging 1 Kingdra. So the golden rule for this deck is to use your Blastoise to charge up for Hydro Tackle first, and then after that focus on only 1 Kingdra. Because if you charge up, if you spread your energy cards, if you attach from your hand and your deck to a lot of Pokemon and spread those energy cards, you're not gonna be able to do much with your Aqua Burst. So we're trying to hit a knockout. So we're trying to hit for a knockout, for a one-hit knockout for VMAX or Tag Team Pokemon with Aqua Burst. That is why we need a lot of water energy cards on 1 Kingdra. So if we spread our energy cards, we're gonna have to wait for all of those Pokemons to get knocked out before we can accumulate all of those energies to 1 Kingdra to be able to do a VMAX knockout or a Tag Team knockout. So we don't want that to happen. That is why it's always better to charge up your 1 Kingdra so that it's super powerful and ready to go, ready to knock out a VMAX. And even if it gets knocked out, if they boss order and knock it out, you have a bench Kingdra to save all of those energy cards. So it's essentially having 1 Kingdra supercharged is essentially having all of your Kingdra supercharged. So all you need to worry about is supercharge a 1 Kingdra, only 1, and then charge up 1 Blastoise before that to attack with your Hydro Tackle, so they get to attack and save those energy cards if they knock out your Blastoise, essentially attaching even more energy to your Kingdra. So that is how powerful this deck is. It allows you to do 150 damage by your 3rd turn, and then after that you get to do even more, and then even more and more and more as the game goes on. You get to do more and more. The amount of damage you get to do escalates. So that's how powerful this deck is. So I can't stress enough, Kingdra is a super crazy card, crazy powerful card. Unless you don't have enough Kingdras on your bench, if they have way too many boss orders, if they catch your Kingdra way too many times, then it's not good for you, because you won't be ready, you won't be fast enough to be able to charge it for a hit. That is why I say it's better to use your Evomancy a second time if they boss order knock out a Kingdra, because that way you get to have more chances of using Aqua Burst. Otherwise, you can only use 1 Aqua Burst per game, which is not a good thing. We want to be able to use at least 2 for 2 VMAX knockouts or 2 Tag Team knockouts. If they have a black market, we don't have any Stadium cards, as you can see in this deck. No Stadium cards and no Marshadow. So if they have a black market, then we're gonna have to knock them out 1 by 1 and wait till a VMAX Pokemon gets knocked out to draw 2 prize cards, or a Tag Team Pokemon to get knocked out to draw 2 prize cards. If they send out a GX or a V card, then we're gonna have to knock out that Pokemon for only 1 prize card. But this deck is very fast, it does a lot of damage, so we're hoping that it works. But for a 1 prize deck, if they are playing Mad Party, this deck is not that good, because they can already attack on their on their first turn. They can already attack on their first turn, doing a lot of damage if they go second. So if they go second, our golden rule for this deck is to summon 2 Blipbugs on your first turn. If you have a Pokemon Communication or a Level Ball in your first turn, it's best to use it for a second Blipbug and put it onto your bench. Charge the Blipbug on your bench, because we are expecting the active to get knocked out on the next turn, It's very easy for your opponent to attack on their first turn if they go second. We are expecting for that to happen. That is why it's best to charge. Obviously, you have to look at the situation, but you never know, you know. They could do a lot of deans and do a lot of Professor's Research, draw a lot of cards, and essentially switch their Pokemon, put out a new Pokemon, switch their Pokemon, and attack with a Pokemon, immediately knocking out your Blipbug on their first turn. So it's very, very, very likely you have to expect Blipbug to get knocked out. Your active Blipbug to get knocked out on your first turn. It's best to draw out have two Blipbugs on the first turn. So we do that with a level ball. So if we go second, it's best to use your Skyla for a level ball first before you know, because you can't evolve on your first turn. There's no point getting out the rare candy. They can just marning you. So it's best to call level ball with your Skyla or your Green's Exploration. If you already have a level ball, if you already have a Pokemon Communication, that's good because you get to summon right off the bat your Blipbug, your second Blipbug, and charge it up, ready to go for the next turn to evolve and use Evomancy. So if they go first, they can knock out your Blipbug on their first turn, and if you don't have a level ball, if you don't have another Blipbug on your bench, then the Mad Party deck can essentially win the game. So the Mad Party deck is a very, very bad deck to be up against if you are playing this Orbital Kingdra deck, because Orbital is a very, very difficult card to play in a deck because you need a lot of supporting cards for it to evolve very, very fast. For a stage 2 Pokemon to evolve on your second turn, right, like as fast as you can, you need a lot of supporting cards. And we can't have those spaces because we can't have Professor's Research, Marnie, we can't have the GXs, we can't have Crobat V because we need our bench spot empty so that we get to fill them up with our Evomancy. If they are already filled with the GX, Crobat V, then we can't summon any more Pokemons. So that's why we can't have Deans, we can't have Crobat Vs. Another reason is because, and we also don't have all those drawing supporter cards. We don't have Marnie, Professor's Research, Birdkeeper, any cards to draw a lot of cards into our hand so that we get our rare candies and evolution incense. That's why we need to search for them. With our greens, it's easier to use greens to max evolve your Orbital because we need those spaces for our water energy cards. So water energy already took up the bulk space of this deck. That is why we don't have those spaces for this card. And to make this card work, you need a lot. You need like a lot to be able to evolve it as fast as you can. So that is why this deck is so difficult. But I managed to find a way to make it work by having 4 greens and 4 Skylas. So Skyla allows us to get our rare candy or evolution incense if we have already one of each. If we already either one in our hand, then all we need to do is Skyla for the other card, and then we get to rare candy evolve our Orbital on our second turn. That is the ideal case. If not, then we have a Green's Exploration to get out both cards. If not, then we have to evolve it stage by stage with a Dottler. That is why we do have a Dottler in this deck, because we cannot be relying on having a Skyla or a Greens even though we have 8 of those cards, we cannot be expecting them to show up in our hand. And even though we do have 1 gear to search the top 7 cards of our deck for a supporter card, and the only supporter card in this deck is Greens and Skyla. We do not have Sonia in this deck. We only have Level Ball to call out our basic Pokemons. And our only basic Pokemon is Blipbug. So Blipbug is the only basic Pokemon in this deck. So it's very likely for you to have to shuffle and draw a lot of mulligans, and be prepared for your opponent to draw a few cards during the first turn. They're gonna have to draw a few cards because you are gonna draw a lot of mulligans. So be prepared for that. And we have also evolution incenses and Pokecoms, as I said just now, to summon our evolution cards and to save. Pokecom allows you to save those, put those evolution cards in your hand back into your deck so that you can summon them with your Evomancy, because sometimes your Blastoise and your Kingdra could turn up in your hand, and we don't want that to happen. So 4 rare candies and 4 of each greens and Skylas, and we also have 4 triple acceleration energy, 3 twin energies, and 16 basic water energies. So we have 3 Blastoise and 4 Kingdras, 4 Blipbugs, 1 Dottler, and 3 Orbeetle. So that's all for the deck list. Let's go ahead for music. The music for today is kawaii future bass music. So it's the cute Japanese style future bass. from Bass Music Storage. If you want to check out their channel, go ahead. You can use them for your videos as well because it's no copyright music. So check out their channel. They feature really good music. So today's style is Future Bass, the cute Future Bass Japanese anime style music. So let's go for gameplay with the massive Drench deck, featuring Kingdra with the Deep Sea King ability. Same as Wishful Baton, but you get to attach any amount. And it has to be the active Pokemon, by the way. I forgot to mention that Deep Sea King only allows you to attach energy cards from any of your Pokemon that get knocked out if that Pokemon is your active Pokemon. If they knock out your bench Pokemon, we don't have Mew in this deck. If they knock out your bench Pokemon, then you can't save those energy cards. You can't attach them back to your Kingdra, so you have no choice but to discard those energies. That's important to note because Deep Sea King only allows you to, they're using Salazzle Weapon Bell. Deep Sea King only allows you to reattach those energy cards from your active Pokemon if it gets knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon. So we are hoping they use boss order or they knock out our active without a boss order, because if they use rapid flow or things like that, then we really can't block them. Because Blastoise Hydro Tackle, you actually have to damage yourself as well. So if they hit your bench, obviously our stage 2 Pokemon has a really high HP, 160, so Rapid Flow can't actually knock us out. They need 2 Rapid Flow hits to be able to knock us out. So let's just focus on this game. We don't have Mew in this deck because we are trying to do as much damage with our Aqua Burst, with our Kingdra, because Kingdra is a very powerful card and we want to be boosting that attack as much as we can and making this strategy work, because this strategy alone is really hard to work because we need to evolve, we need to get them out, we need to get our special energies, and you know, there's a lot of things to think about. So we're gonna get our level ball. That's why we don't have space for the Mew, and it's better not to focus on not to tailor this deck to protect ourselves from those bench destruction decks. If they have a Kyogre, then well, sorry, but we are sort of done because Kyogre does a lot, like 80 damage to all of your Pokemon. All they need is 2 amazing surges and then we're done. But if they play a lot of VMAX tag teams, then this deck is super powerful because we are playing a full 1 prize deck. So all our cards is 1 prize. We have Orbital, Blastoise, Kingdra. Those are our only cards. We have no Dedenne, no Crobats, no no Jirachi. Jirachi is a 1 prize, but we don't even have that. The reason we don't have a Jirachi is because we are playing greens, so we can't be having Jirachi. So we actually get to summon 5. Look at that. Wow. Just because we have so many special energy cards in this deck, that's why it's better to have... Oh, we better get a Pokemon because we just drew a Blastoise. So it's important to be alert in the game. I almost got a Evolution Incense. So put that Blastoise back because we only have 3 Blastoise. There we go. 1 could turn up in our prize card. So it's always best to have all in your deck, so they get to summon everything. So we're gonna attach Triple XL. I almost attached a twin just because I couldn't attach to my Blipbug. So evolve first, then attach. So that way we get to summon 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh dear, we don't have another Kingdra. Oh well. Is it smart to get... We have 4 Kingdras though. Like, we have 4 Kingdras in this deck. 2 is in our prize card. That was unlucky. Usually I would have at least 3 in the deck. So I'm just gonna be happy there because, well, we actually tailored this deck. Like, I'm not kidding. I tried really hard to make this card work, and this card is really difficult. That's why we have 4 greens, 4 Skylas. That's why we can evolve that fast. And we have a lot of special energies. We actually got lucky with the Triple XL and Twin. We got both, and we got so many as well. So I'm not sure why. If special energy turns up, it turns up in bulks. I'm not sure why. But if they don't turn up, it's gonna be really difficult to get them out. It really depends on the game. If you're lucky, you're like super lucky. If you're unlucky, you're super unlucky. I'm not sure why. So they knocked out our first Kingdra, that's not good. But it's a one price deck, so we don't really have to use a Kingdra. We don't need a Kingdra to win this game. All we need is a Blastoise. So we need Blastoise Aqua Burst. We don't need to accumulate that many energies on our Kingdra because they are playing very low HP Pokemons, and we don't need to do a lot of we don't need to hit them with a lot of damage to knock them out. Unless they put out that Eldegoss or Dedenne or Crobat V, then we need a few, like 5 or 4 energies. Eldegoss we need 5. For Dedenne we need 4. So let's just put a Blastoise now. We have 3 Blastoise, so we don't need to worry about that. And they have 1 Whippin' Bell. Sorry, 1 Bellsprout. Let's just get... I don't know what to get really. Yeah, let's just get that, whatever. Get thin out our deck so that we get as many energy on the top of our deck as possible. So none for our first Blastoise, that's unlucky. 1 for our second Blastoise. That's scary. Oh my gosh. We need like 1 more. Come on. Okay, we got 2. That's good. We're gonna charge up our... Let's just do the Kingdra. No, you know what? Let's just do Blastoise. They're probably gonna Salazzle. Yeah, they're probably gonna put the Salazzle on the next turn anyways. So that's their first Salazzle, and that's their first Bellsprout. Probably gonna be more Bellsprouts. They're playing a Heat Energy. Wow, a Heat Energy Recycle. Very interesting, because usually people play a Twin or a Welder if they're playing a Derisive Roasting attack. But they haven't had their Whippin' Bell yet. They knocked out our Kingdra though. They knocked out our first Kingdra with a Scoop Up Net. Alright, they evolved with the Whippin' Bell and they use a Scoop Up Net. And they knocked out our second Blastoise. Oh my god. Please don't have another Scoop Up Net. Oh my god. They're gonna use... They used the boss order, so they're gonna have to need a... They need a Dedenne now to get their Salandit. If they don't have a Salandit, then they are screwed. Please don't have a Dedenne or Crobat. I'm anticipating a Crobat now. Probably a Crobat. Oh, thank god. They knocked out our Blastoise. Why not knock out this one though? That's weird. Like, they just wasted their boss order. They probably have another boss order. Let's just prepare for that. So Powerful Squall, nothing. We don't have any more Water Stage 2s in the deck. We actually should have got a Pokemon Communication. That was stupid of me. I should have got a Pokemon Communication with my Skyla because my Kingdra is in my deck. And we already have our Evilmancy ready to go. That was really stupid. Oh, we can... Yeah, just to prepare for a Orbital knockout, let's just put the Blipbug. Evolve the next turn so that we get to call out our Kingdra. Actually, there's no point. You know what? There's just no point. Because they have 3 prize cards left, we're going to be playing Blastoise, Kingdra, Blastoise. So no point using Evilmancy again unless we get to use 2 Kingdras. So they're going to use Float Up, and we're actually weak towards Leaf type. Oh my gosh, we're weak towards Grass type. And they can actually knock us out. Wow. Oh, they can't. It's a V Pokemon, V card. So Twin Energy doesn't work for V cards. Oh, phew, that was close. It works, but it only works as 1 colorless energy. It doesn't work as double. Let's attach to something. Let's just use Blastoise. for Kingdra. We have to retreat that Blastoise though. So we're gonna use a triple XL for the retreat. Um, 130. They can actually knock us out. They can knock out our Blastoise. That's insane. We're gonna have to use our Kingdra. So Blastoise is weak towards that bloody Eldegoss. Just because it's a grass type. It does 100 damage. So we have to use Kingdra because Kingdra is weak towards lightning. So Kingdra is safe. But it doesn't do much damage though. 120 is enough. Because we can't even knock out with Hydro Tackle anyways. So 2 hits. Let's hope they don't heal. They're getting a Salandit or Whippin' Bell. Salandit, there we go. They have no supporter cards in their hand. They can't actually knock us out. So we actually draw 2 prize cards first. So we are ahead of the game by a little bit. But they can actually knock us out on the next turn. If they get a Salazzle, they're probably gonna draw a supporter card. Hopefully not, but they might, you know. So we got a Pokecom. Let's save that Pokecom. Should we retreat? I think we should retreat. Because they don't have leaf types. We don't have to worry about leaf types anymore. Let's use our second Blastoise. Just to make it more difficult for them to knock us out. Might not matter anyways because they can do a crazy amount of damage with their Salazzle. If they have a Whippin' Bell Salazzle, then this Blastoise is gonna get knocked out. One way or another. So we got 160 damage with Aqua Burst now. And Hydro Tackle for the kill. Oh, this is actually a difficult game. Thank God they have an Eldegoss, because otherwise we would be very much behind because they're playing all 1 prizes. So bad thing about Salazzle Whippin' Bell is you can't really set up that easily. It's better to have a Gossifleur because it's very difficult to set up. And even after you've set up your Pokemons, you need like a billion scoop up nets to recycle your Whippin' Bell Dangerous Mucus, because that ability is just annoying. Or like Devolution Spray Z's as well. That could work. So we are attaching like way too much to our Kingdra. But oh well. That's what this deck is for anyways. Let's just use Hydro Tackle. So actually using this card is not smart because Hydro Tackle damages yourself and we are down to 1 prize card. So if we use this card to attack just now, then we can't attack anymore because we are down to 10 HP. You know, because we have used Hydro Tackle twice, that means we would be down to 10 HP for this card. So they finally got a Bruno. Phew, that was close. The Salazzle Whippin' Bell is like a crusher deck. The Mad Destroyer deck. Familiar Bell. Bellsprout. Oh, it's too late for a Bellsprout now. Like, come on. They probably have a Salazzle though. Yep. You can't win anymore. They just can't win anymore. Whatever they do, they can't win. I can retreat. I can just retreat. Don't even have to worry about energy cards anymore. And just do my Hydro Tackle. There we go. Don't need to do much. They essentially trap themselves by having no setup cards. They don't have enough supporter cards, don't have enough setup cards. They use way too many boss orders. They have way too many boss orders in their deck. You know, it's not good to have that much sabotage cards. If you have way too many cards that sabotage your opponent, you don't have enough to set up your own Pokemons to boost up your own, to speed up your gameplay, because you need to speed up your own gameplay to be able to do a lot. But you also need to fit some of those cards as well. You need to fit some boss orders. You know, it's good to have a balance of both. But I don't like that. I just don't like those sabotage cards. I prefer to boost myself as much as I can, and then worry about, worry about their advantage later. Because if you boost yourself as much as you can, then they're gonna have to do a lot to suppress that. So they're using a Rillaboom deck, a Voltage Beat Rillaboom V. So let's charge our second Blipbug. They're gonna have a Voltage Beat and switch for the kill. They actually can't attack though. Rillaboom V, I can't remember what Rillaboom V Max does. Let's just, it's probably not a good idea, but let's just take the chance. Let's take the chance and attach to our Blipbug. It's not a good idea, guys. I'm anticipating it getting knocked out, but oh well. I'm gonna flip a coin here. I'm really unlucky with coin flips, with luck, Russian roulettes. So this is the Russian roulette for PTCGO. And they are Rare Candy evolving their Rillaboom. Oh, they can actually Wood Hammer actually, because they've already attached an energy. I forgot. So if they have a switch, they can Voltage Beat Wood Hammer. Oh my god, please don't switch. Air Balloon they can't retreat with Air Balloon though. They have they can't use Bird Keeper anymore, so they need a retreat. They can't use Scoop Up Net obviously. Oh my god, max speeding. Scratch actually does the trick. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, we get to summon 4. That was close. 1, and let's have a Pokecom. We already have a Pokecom. Let's get another Pokecom just to prepare for other. Should we do that? Is that smart? Let's just get an Evolution Incense. Because Evolution Incense allows us to thin out our deck. Whereas Pokecom is just replacing one card for another. So Evolution Incense reduces the card count by 1. And that allows you to attach more with your powerful squad later on. So it's good to think about, you know, the entirety of the game early on. But sometimes over preparing is a bad thing, so really depends. Let's see, we have 2 Kingdras again. Oh, we have 1 in our hand. So there we go, we have 3 in the deck now. And we have a Pokecom. That means we actually get to, if they knock us out, we get to summon another Kingdra with our second Orbital. If we need it, if we can. But there might be no point doing that because we already have 6 Pokemons in play. That means they can knock out 2 Orbitals and all the other 4. So if we summon another Kingdra, well, it might actually be a good thing because we are not actually using our second Blastoise. The second Blastoise is not going to be, if they don't boss or knock it out, it's not going to be, we're not going to put it in the active spot. So we might need a second Orbital to summon a third Kingdra. So let's hope Blastoise does enough. So Blastoise accumulate those damage, and then all we need to do is Kingdra on the next turn. Okay, let's compress the deck. Get a Dottler actually. Yeah, Dottler will be good. We don't have Leaf Evolution cards, so we can't use a Turffield Stadium. Let's use Powerful Swallow. Oh, we got 3, that's lovely. Sometimes we get none, like the previous game we got none. And we don't have that much in our hand either. Not with both Powerful Squad though, we got none for like... Oh, I forgot about the Blastoise. I made a mistake there. We never charge your second Blastoise, guys. Never charge your second Blastoise. Just go for Kingdra all the way. I made a mistake. My Kingdra would have been 5 by now. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fine. 6 is good enough. All we need is a few more powerful Squalls. They're gonna knock out either our Blastoise or our Kingdra, so we have to watch out for that. They can't boss order anymore, so they're gonna have to gamble on a coin flip if they play a catcher. They don't have Ninetales, so there we go, max beating. It's weak towards Leaf type. So we're gonna accumulate on one Kingdra, as I said, and then play that Kingdra. So they have no choice but to knock out one of our Kingdra. So it's better to play one of your Kingdra now, because if you don't, they're gonna boss auto knock it out and you can't use your Aqua Burst anymore. So Aqua Burst all the way from here on out. So we got 8. Already enough to, oh, not enough to knock out yet. We need one more to one hit knock out a full HP Rillaboom VMAX. But we have one in our hand. We have an Orbital VMAX. Oh, they just let us win. Okay, so we got 2 Kingdras and we already hit with Aqua Burst once. We can hit Aqua Burst again and they are done. Even if they boss order a bench Kingdra, they are still done because, you know, the other Kingdra is fully charged. So that is all for this deck called the Massive Drench, featuring the Kingdra card from Battle Styles with the Deep Sea King ability, doing the same thing as Wishful Baton, but allowing you to reattach all of your water energy cards from your active Pokemon if it gets knocked out to any of your bench Kingdras. So if you have a lot of Kingdras in play, it's better to max charge one Kingdra to reattach those energy cards, transfer everything to one Kingdra so that you get to do a lot of damage with that one Kingdra, and if they knock out that Kingdra, you can retransfer those to another Kingdra. Or if they boss order knock out a Kingdra without energy cards, then it's okay because you have another one already max charged. So they're gonna have to choose which Kingdra to knock out, and even if they boss order and knock out one, you have another one already ready to go, ready to knock out a VMAX with one hit. That is how powerful this Aqua Burst attack is, and I cannot stress this enough. It is a super powerful card, and we are pairing this with the Team Up Blastoise. I'm happy that this card is still standard because Powerful Squall is a super strong ability, and Hydro Tackle allows you to do 150 damage. It is a lot, only 3 energy costs. So our strategy is essentially doing Hydro Tackle to do 150 damage to our opponent's active Pokemon first, and then Aqua Burst on the next turn for the knockout. So Hydro Tackle, Aqua Burst for the first knockout, and then later on Aqua Burst all the way until the end of the game, and then win the game that way. If we can't win the game that way, then we lose the game, because Aqua Burst is our what do you call that? Our trump card, is our main our main machine gun. So Aqua Burst is our artillery, the strongest artillery for this deck. Obviously, we also have Hydro Tackle to attack with, and we can also attack with those colorless energies. We can't attack with Zen Hit, but we can attack with Ram and also Stampede. You know, sometimes we may need to, because those cards are different type. They're Psychic type and Leaf type, and sometimes those few damage counters, those few damages are all it takes to knock them out. So it's important to note that which attack that you can use for every deck. So for this deck, all we can do is Aqua Burst, Hydro Tackle, Stampede, and Ram, and Evomancy obviously. So Aqua Burst and Hydro Tackle is the most powerful one. Hydro Tackle first, then Aqua Burst all the way is the way to go for this deck, because the first knockout, if they don't heal their Pokemon after the Hydro Tackle hit, then we can knock them out easily with the first Aqua Burst, because obviously the first Aqua Burst is not going to do a lot of damage because we are not going to have enough energy cards on our first Kingdra. But that is okay because we have already heavily damaged them with our Hydro Tackle. We don't need that many damage. We don't need a full 300 plus damage to knock out a VMAX card. We don't need 280 plus damage to knock out a tag team. All we need is 240 or 280, then we are good. And that is just 6 or 7 energy cards on our Kingdra. Not a lot. We have 2 Blastoise in play to be able to attach energy for 2 turns, because we get to put a Blastoise to attack on that turn. Already we have 3 energy cards, and on next turn we have another powerful Squall on our bench ready to recharge, to max charge our Kingdra, and by that time we would have at least 7 energy cards, enough to knock out for the second hit a VMAX or tag team. So I cannot stress this enough. This is a super damage destruction deck. We are dealing a huge amount of damage, and the amount of damage you can do escalates. That is crazy, because you not only get to maintain your energy card count in play, but you also get to add from your hand and from your deck with your powerful Squall ability, attach over and over, add even more and even more. It snowballs. That's how powerful this Aqua Burst attack. This is crazy. This attack is insane. The main block for this card, the main roadblock for this card is that it's stage 2. So it's really difficult to evolve. It's really difficult to get out a lot of Kingdras into play onto your bench as fast, as many as you can, as fast as possible. That is why we are using our Orbital to give us that advantage. So Orbital allows us to put out as many Kingdras and as many Blastoise onto our bench as fast, as early on in the game as we can, with as many greens and as many Skylas as we can fit into a deck. So we have 4 of each greens and Skyla, and we have 4 rare candies, 3 evolution incense, 3 Pokemon communication to get our evolution cards. We have 6 cards to get evolution cards. We have 3 level balls to get out another blip bug, because we do need 2 blip bugs to start with, because they can easily knock out our first active. So we only have 4 basic Pokemon in this deck, as I said. So it's important to expect your opponent to draw extra cards in the first few turns, during your first turn, because we're gonna draw a lot of mulligans, and they're probably gonna get an idea of what type of deck we are playing, because they're gonna be looking at our hand, because it's not likely that we are gonna draw within our first mulligan a basic Pokemon, because we only have 4 basic Pokemons, only blip bugs to start with, because we don't want a Jirachi. Jirachi binds our greens exploration. We can't use greens if we have any ability Pokemons in play. We can't have Gormandize, we can't have Primate Wisdom, we can't have any cards with abilities. So the Dingy X, all of those cards we cannot have them. That is why we only have a blip bug. Even a Mew will bind your greens exploration card, so we cannot have Mew as well. So that is how tough this Orbital deck is. It's very tough to make this deck work. It's very tough to evolve this card by your second turn. But if you can make it work, it's gonna be super powerful, and I have, well, essentially made it work. So hope you guys enjoyed this deck, because I am very proud of the way that this deck has become, because initially when I first built this deck, it was really slow, super weak, and I couldn't get that Orbital card out fast enough. They keep knocking it out. They keep knocking it out before I evolve, before I get to use Evomancy for even 1 or 2 summons. I can't even do that. So it's really difficult. That is the main barrier for this card, is how do you evolve it within your second turn, by your second turn. That is important. That is like, you have to do that. Otherwise, you can't play this card. Like, this card will be useless for your deck. So that's how weak this card is. It can be weak, but it can be strong. It really relies on your own, how you make this card work. So your own creativity. So explore your own creativity, explore new cards, and look at certain ways, find ways of making things work. And sometimes a greens might not be a good idea. Sometimes it might be better to get a bills analysis or something like that. You have to experiment with things as well. Put in different cards, mix and mash, and then go for a lot of games. Even if you lose a lot of times, you gain 1 billion experience. You gain 1 billion experience points, and with those experience points, you get to build even better decks, and with those better decks, you get to score even more wins. That is like priceless. That experience points is priceless. If you win a lot with a meta deck, you don't get any experience. You don't get to make a deck of your own. You don't get to shine through your own, like you don't get to, what do you call that, shine in your own way. You don't get to be proud of yourself. You know, that's how you become bigger as a person. So if you want to go for a lot of wins, then you just buy a league battle deck, and then, you know, keep adding a lot of the DNGXs, Crobat Vs, adding a lot of those meta cards, and then, you know, go for a lot of gameplays. Even if you are playing a league battle deck, even if you have a really powerful deck that you are playing, that everyone that you can defeat every deck, a deck that is so powerful that it is undefeatable, you still have to perfect it. You know, even the single strike Urshifu VMAX is not perfect. You know, if you're up against like one price decks, it's still defeatable. So you still have to go for experience points. You still have to go for a billion gameplays. You still have to play a lot of games to be able to make that deck even stronger, so that it becomes bulletproof. Because otherwise, you know, any deck can be defeatable. As I said, every deck is defeatable. All you need is persistence and intelligence. So keep playing, keep having fun. That is all for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you find our videos interesting, entertaining, and fulfilling. Keep exploring new territories and you know, discovering your own flavor. You know, we all have different flavors, so you need to discover your own color. You know, we have a color of our own. It's not purple, it's not blue, it's your own signature color. So explore your own style, whether it's rapid strike, single strike, or special strike. We'll see you in the next video, and have a nice day, guys. Bye!